Good afternoon, students. I am Hemlata, and this we are doing chapter 2, acid bases of class 10th, and we will be studying about acid reaction with metal carbonates. The first reaction is in front of you, that when a metal carbonate reacts with an acid, then a salt is produced, carbon dioxide is produced, and water is produced. Salt produced depends on the type of acid which is reacted with the metal carbonate and the type of metal carbonate also. The acid, if it is a hydrochloric acid, then the metal chloride salt will be produced. If it is a sulfuric acid, metal sulfate salt will be produced. And if it is a nitric acid, it is reacting, then the metal nitrate salt will be produced. The equation will be metal carbonate plus acid gives, example is magnesium carbonate plus nitric acid will give the metal yani magnesium nitrate will give. Zinc carbonate hydrochloric acid, the reaction will be giving us zinc chloride. And if it is sodium carbonate plus sulfuric acid, the reaction will be giving us sodium sulfate. Now this is a diagram, and we have done this activity in the class as well. When we take metal carbonate and we add hydrochloric acid to it, then we will get metal chloride. And if we pass this gas in the lime water, then CO2 will be evolved and lime water will become milky. Experiment is there, which is given. Add metal carbonate to the acid, collect the gas that comes off, test the gas, write your observation. So, and we will do the test for, we will check it. Carbon dioxide is always checked by lime water test, and lime water turns milky in with the carbon dioxide. Reaction यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है कि कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड दैट इज अ लाइम वाटर, जब इसके साथ CO2 मिलती है तो कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट बनता है जो कि व्हाइट प्रेसिपिटेट होता है और H2O वाटर बनता है. ऑन पासिंग द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस थ्रू लाइम वाटर इट टर्न्स क्लाउडी. तो और लाइम वाटर में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड टर्न करते तो मिल्की हो जाता है, क्लाउडी हो जाता है. नाउ ऑन पासिंग एक्सेस ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फॉलोइंग रिएक्शंस टेक प्लेस. ज्यादा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड अगर डाल देंगे तो क्या होगा, एच ज्यादा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड डाल देंगे तो वापस से वो ट्रांसपेरेंट हो जाएगा बिकॉज कैल्शियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट बन जाएगा. लाइमस्टोन, chalk, marble, different forms of carbon carbonate, calcium carbonates. Testing carbon dioxide, it puts out a little spill. It turns lime water cloudy. Complete the word equations. यहाँ पर आपको word equations दी हुई है. Sodium carbonate plus A gives sodium nitrate plus B plus water. So what can be the answers? As I told you, it depends on the type of acid which salt is produced, because from the acid only the metal group is attached. So sodium carbonate, if it's reacting with which acid, it becomes nitric acid. That you have to tell me. So यहाँ पर A की जगह कौन सा acid आना चाहिए? It should be nitric acid. And here in the C, next question is C is the fill up. Plus nitric acid gives calcium nitrate plus carbon dioxide plus water. What is C here? And last is zinc plus sulfuric acid gives D plus E plus F. You have to solve it. This is your test. Now, we will be understanding further about the next slides. Then after metal carbonates, we also have to study about the reactions of various bases with other compounds. So let us check out the other slides. Metal hydrogen carbonate, metal carbonate. These we have studied. Now we are going to study about the next slides. I have shared the screen with you. Acid, base, and salts. So in the previous slide, we have understood that metal hydrogen carbonates produce salts and carbon dioxide. And now we will study about the further reactions. What happens when we mix an acid with a base? That we have to study. When acid is mixed with base, it is mixed together to form a salt plus water. This is called neutralization reaction. You can see in the slide, the chemical reaction between acid and base is called neutralization. Neutral solution we get acid plus base gives salt plus water. Hydrochloric acid plus sodium hydroxide. A reaction is written in the bottom. It gives sodium chloride plus water and salt. Salt are the substances formed by the reaction between the acid and the bases. This is the main reaction. Salt are produced and the water is produced. Now, we will move to the next slide. We will read it. The screen is being shared with you. So, acids and bases. After the neutralization reaction, we will be reading about what happened. Indicators. We see that where there are various indicators. Acids, common properties are given that acids and bases and salts, acids are sour in taste. They change blue litmus to red. And acids examples are given hydrochloric acid, HCl. Bases are bitter in taste, change red litmus to blue, and their examples are given sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide. Some naturally occurring acids are given. That vinegar is present in the acetic acid. Vinegar is the common name, acetic acid is the chemical name. Orange is having citric acid, lemon is having citric acid, tamarind is having tartaric acid. Sour milk is having lactic acid, and nettle sting is having methanoic acid. Acid base indicator indicate the presence of an acid or base in a solution. So acid base indicator ऐसे solutions होते हैं जो कि इंडिकेटर्स की तरह काम करते हैं और वो एसिड और बेसिस को इंडिकेट करते हैं. ऑल्फैक्टरी इंडिकेटर्स ऑर्डर चेंजेस शो करते हैं, जैसे ओनियन और क्लॉव और वेनिला एसेंस. अगर हम एक टेबल बनाएं ब्लू लिटमस सोल्यूशन, रेड लिटमस सोल्यूशन, टर्मरिक, मिथाइल ऑरेंज, फिनोप्थिलीन की, तो एसिड के साथ ब्लू लिटमस सोल्यूशन तो रेड में चेंज हो जाएगा और बेस के साथ कोई कलर चेंज नहीं करेगा. रेड लिटमस सोल्यूशन एसिड के साथ कोई कलर चेंज नहीं शो करेगा, जबकि वो ब्लू हो जाएगा विद बेस. टर्मरिक कोई कलर चेंज शो नहीं करेगी थ्रू एसिड एंड इट विल चेंज टू रेड इन द बेस. मिथाइल ऑरेंज रेड हो जाएगा एसिड में और येलो हो जाएगा बेस में, एंड फिनोप्थिलीन कलरलेस रहेगी एसिड में, पिंक हो जाएगी बेस में. Dilute acids contain small amount of acid, large amount of water. Concentrated acids contain large amount of acid and small amount of water. Now, chemical properties, as we have studied with the slide also, the metals react with acid to produce salt and hydrogen gas, and the metal carbonates react with the acids to produce carbon dioxide and salts. And hydrogen which is produced if the acid react with metals, then here we can see 2HCl is reacting with zinc. Zinc chloride is formed and hydrogen gas is formed. Hydrogen test is the pop test. When the burning candle is brought near a test tube containing the hydrogen gas, it burns with a pop sound. This test is conducted examining in the presence of hydrogen gas. Means hydrogen is little explosive. You know the hydrogen is acting as a fuel in the rockets also. So hydrogen, when we bring a burning candle near this gas evolution, which is evolving from acid reacting with metal, that gas is H2 and we test it with a pop sound test. You have to write complete test when it comes in the exam. Base plus metals, it gives salts plus hydrogen. NaOH plus Zn gives sodium zincate salt plus hydrogen. Such reaction not possible with metals. All metals cannot do these reactions. Now acids with metal carbonates, they are producing salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. Na2CO3 plus 2HCl gives 2NaCl plus H2O plus CO2. And that is the reaction. And we can do lime water test because here the gas is producing is CO2. So when we add CaOH whole twice plus carbon dioxide, it gives calcium carbonate, a white precipitate, and water. On passing excess CO2, the reaction, because calcium hydrogen carbonate is formed, it is soluble in water, then again the white milky white solution become transparent. Neutralization is when bases react with acid, then we get a salt and the water. This is the neutralization reaction. एग्जाम्पल एसिड प्लस बेस में आपने लिया बेस एक NaOH और एसिड लिया HCl और उससे NaCl बन गया और वाटर बन गया. रिएक्शन ऑफ मेटल ऑक्साइड विद एसिड. मेटल ऑक्साइड को जब हम CuO को जब हम एसिड से रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं तो वो भी एक सॉल्ट बना रहा है वाटर, यानी मेटल ऑक्साइड यहाँ पर बेस की तरह काम कर रही है. ब्लू ग्रीन कलर ऑफ द सोल्यूशन फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कॉपर क्लोराइड. मेटल ऑक्साइड आर सेड टू बी बेसिक इन नेचर, तभी वो एसिड के साथ मिलकर सॉल्ट और वाटर बना रही थी. तो मेटल ऑक्साइड बेस की तरह काम कर रही थी, न्यूट्रलाइजेशन रिएक्शन हो रहा था. रिएक्शन नॉन मेटल ऑक्साइड कैसा है, वो भी नॉन मेटल ऑक्साइड बेस के साथ जब हम रिएक्ट करवा रहे हैं तो सॉल्ट और वाटर बना रही है, यानी नॉन मेटल ऑक्साइड एसिडिक की तरह बिहेव करती हैं. CaOH whole twice plus CO2 gives CaCO3 plus water. Non-metallic oxide are said to be acidic. In all acidic solution conduct electricity, and glowing of bulb indicate in this activity 2.3 when you will have acid in the beaker and you connect two electrodes and connect the circuit, then there will be conduction and the completion of the circuit, because acids are good conductor of hydrogen ions. They are having 3 hydrogen ions which can conduct the electricity and complete the circuit. Now, acids or bases in water solution. Acid produce H ions in the presence of water, and bases produce OH ions Bases provides hydroxyl ions. Alkalis, all bases do not dissolve in water. Alkali is a base that dissolve in water. So सारे bases dissolve नहीं होते water में, पर alkali ही वो base होते हैं. जैसे example दे रखे कुछ common alkali के NaOH, KOH, COH whole twice, ये तो dissolve हो जाएंगे water में. All alkali bases, but all bases are not alkali. Precautions must be taken while mixing acid with bases with water. Acid must be always added to water. ये आपको पता है. और कंटिन्यूस स्टीरिंग करते रहेंगे और हम हमेशा एसिड को ही पानी से मिलाते हैं, बिकॉज हाईली एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन होता है, स्लैश हो सकता है, बर्न हो सकता है, तो हमें हमेशा एसिड को ही वाटर से मिलाना होता है. When acid and bases are mixed with water, it becomes dilute. This results in decrease in the concentration of the hydrogen ions, हाइड्रोनियम आयन पर यूनिट वॉल्यूम. सो एसिड और बेसिस को जब पानी के साथ मिलाते हैं तो उनकी स्ट्रेंथ कम हो जाती है. स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ एन एसिड और बेस depends on the number of hydrogen ions and OH ions, and which is represented by the pH scale. pH is the potence in the German means power. pH potence से लिया गया है जिसका जर्मन में power meaning है. With the help of a universal indicator, we find strength of an acid. This indicator is pH scale. Scale measures from 0 very acidic to 14 very alkaline, and in the mid 7 neutral. pH paper is a paper which is used for measuring the pH of the solutions. So pH paper is also a universal indicator paper, which can, when you dip in the solution and then you check the color change, you can match that color change with the scale given on the pH paper. And if it is 0, then it should be dark red, highly acidic, very low pH it will be having, and high concentration of H ions should be there. And if it is having 4, then it's orange or green. It's slightly converting into green, and it's acidic, still acidic, and have high H ions concentration and low OH. When it is 7, then it is having neutral, equal H positive and equal OH negative. When it is 10, it is bluish green. At alkaline, it's showing H ions will decrease and OH negative ions will increase. 14, dark blue violet, highly basic, very low H positive ions are there. So these things we have studied. Now weak base are the bases which like NH4OH is a weak base, give rise to less OH negative. Strong bases are NaOH and KOH. Weak acids are CH3COOH, which gives less H positives. Strong acids are HCl and H2SO, which gives H positive more in higher concentration. More about salts, salt and their derivation, and how we name the salts, because salts are produced by a reaction of acid and base. We already know. So on the depending on which strong acid is reacted with base, we give the name of that salt. If a strong base is reacting with an acid, we call it basic salt because strong base was reacting. Potassium sulfate K2SO4 derived from KOH and H2SO4. So it is an acidic salt because H2SO4 is acid and strong acid. Sodium sulfate Na2SO4, it is derived from NaOH and H2SO4. It is a neutral. So NaCl and Na2SO4 belong to the family of sodium salts and they have same radicals. This is also a type of naming. If they are having same radical, they can be called as sodium salt. Similarly, NaCl and KCl belong to chloride salts. So on the basis of the groups also, we can classify them. Importance of pH in our daily life. pH is in our digestive system also. You know that stomach is producing HCl. pH level of our body is regulated by our digestive system. In case of indigestion, stomach produces acid in the very large quantity, because of which we feel pain and irritation in the stomach. To gather relief from this pain, we have to use and we have to take some antacids. And when we take some amount of antacid, we swallow it, and then the antacid neutralizes the acid of the stomach. We get relief. pH of acid rain, pH of rainwater, if it is less than 5.6, we call that acid rain. And acid rain, when flow in the rivers, then it also harm the plant life, animal aquatic life. And what about the tooth decay? Tooth decay is also there. If we Particular soil is normal for the farmer if it is near neutral, and farmer has to check the neutrality of the our body functions. Same 7.0 to 7.8 living organism function in this neutral pH only. So if the pH of any soil is less or more than the normal, then the farmers has to add suitable fertilizers to change the pH. To decay, bacteria present in our mouth can, uh, if there are food particles which are there in the night, and if we sleep like without brushing, what happens then? These bacteria will ferment the food particles and will convert it into acid because of the fermentation. So our tooth will be decaying by that acid. So if we want to prevent it, then we should be using toothpaste which is basic in composition, and it will be preventing the excess acid. Bee sting or nettle stings contain methanoic acid, and when we bitten by the bee or the ant, we can use a weak base like baking soda, and we can get relief by the burning sensation. Neutral salts are strong acid and strong base. Its pH is 7. NaCl and CaSO4 are neutral salts. Acidic salts are produced by strong acid reaction with weak base. pH value is less than 7. NH4Cl and NH4NO3 are the example of these salts. You can write the example because in the copy, there should be many examples for you to learn. So write these examples in a copy. You can take a screenshot also. Strong base and weak acid react. pH value is more than 7. CaCO3 and COONA, that is the basic salt. Sodium acetate. केमिकल फ्रॉम द कॉमन सॉल्ट. कॉमन सॉल्ट से हम क्या क्या केमिकल बना सकते हैं लास्ट में ये चैप्टर में दिस इज गिवन. सोडियम क्लोराइड कॉमन सॉल्ट है, हम अपने खाने में भी खाते हैं, सी वाटर से ऑब्टेन होता है. रॉक सॉल्ट ब्राउन कलर का थोड़ा होता है, जिसे हम सेंधा नमक कहते हैं, हम फास्टिंग में उसे खाते हैं. तो ये माइंड कोल की तरह माइंड किया जाता है. कॉमन सॉल्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रॉ मटेरियल है फ्रॉम मेनी मटेरियल्स ऑफ द डेली यूज सच एज सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड, वॉशिंग सोडा, ब्लीचिंग पाउडर. इनको बनाने में कॉमन सॉल्ट जरूरी यूज होता है. एंड सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड प्रिपरेशन prepared by the method called chloralkali process. Chloralkali process क्यों कहा जाता है? Because we get chlorine and a base in this. So एक हमें alkali मिल रहा है बाय प्रोडक्ट में, और एक हमें क्लोरीन गैस मिल रही है, इसलिए इसे chloralkali कहा जाता है. NaCl को बनाने का ये तरीका है. 2NaCl plus H2O, 2H2O gives 2NaOH, chlorine and H2O. So we produce सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड को बनाने का क्लोरल्कली प्रोसेस है. ठीक है. तो बाय मिस्टेक आई हैव टोल्ड यू NaCl को बनाने का तरीका है. नो, सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड को बनाने का तरीका है क्लोरल्कली प्रोसेस, क्योंकि हमें NaOH मिल रहा है जो कि एक एल्कली है, क्लोरीन गैस बन रही है. बना किससे? सॉल्ट से बनता है. एंड जब हमने NaCl की बहुत कंसंट्रेटेड सोल्यूशन जिसे ब्राइन कहते हैं उसे हम इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस कराते हैं, तो कैथोड पे हमें एक हाइड्रोजन गैस रिलीज करता है, एनोड पे वो क्लोरीन रिलीज करता है, और NaOH हमें ये मिलता है उसके सोल्यूशन में. एंड फर्टिलाइजर्स में भी काम आता है जो हाइड्रोजन गैस है. एंड क्लोरीन इज ऑल्सो यूज इन PVC पाइप मेकिंग एंड एवरीथिंग एल्स. So, if possible, we can see it with the PowerPoint also. I'm searching for the PowerPoint. Till then, I hope आपको ये समझ में आ गया. इसके बाद वॉशिंग सोडा, baking powder, and in that in this their uses also washing soda and baking soda, their uses are given in the chapter. In the NCERT you also know it is given. Family of salts we have discussed. Bleaching powder. Chemical formula is CaOCl2. Chemical name is calcium oxychloride. This salt is prepared by the action of chlorine on the dry slake lime. So, action of slake lime and the chlorine gas it produced. So CaOH whole twice is a slake lime. उस पे जब हम chlorine gas को react कराते हैं तो we get calcium oxychloride, that is a bleaching powder. And water. Bleaching powder के uses क्या हैं? Uses for bleaching cotton, linen in the textile industry, used for bleaching wood pulp in the paper factories, used for bleaching washed clothes in the laundry, used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries, used for disinfecting drinking water to make it free of germs. Baking soda chemical formula is NaHCO3. बेकिंग सोडा का सोडियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट नेम है. ये सॉल्ट प्रिपेयर किया जाता है एक्शन ऑफ अमोनिया ऑन सोडियम क्लोराइड. जब अमोनिया रिएक्ट करती है सोडियम क्लोराइड पे इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ वाटर एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, तब हमें मिलता है बेकिंग सोडा NaHCO3. इसका ये आप रिएक्शन पूरा याद कर लेंगे. जब अमोनिया रिएक्ट कर रही है NaCl पे इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ वाटर एंड HCO2, वी आर गेटिंग बेकिंग सोडा. बेकिंग सोडा के यूजेस क्या है? केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी की वजह से इट इज माइल्ड नॉन कोरोसिव बेस. बहुत ही हल्का माइल्ड बेस है ये, नॉन कोरोसिव नेचर का. इट रिलीजेस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस ऑन हीटिंग. हीट होता है तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड निकालता है. NaHCO3 प्लस H2O प्लस CO2 ये निकलता है जब हीट होता है. बेकिंग पाउडर इज अ मिक्सचर ऑफ बेकिंग सोडा एंड अ माइल्ड एडिबल एसिड सच एज टार्टरिक. जब हम इसे खाने में बनाते हैं तो किसी भी खाने का फ्लफी और उसको क्रिस्पी बनाने में काम आता है. बेकिंग सोडा का यूजेस है किचन में मेकिंग टेस्टी क्रिस्पी पकौड़ास एडेड फॉर फास्टर कुकिंग. Carbon dioxide produced during heating cause bread and cake to rise, make them soft and spongy. Used as an ingredient in antacids to neutralize excess acid in the stomach. Now, water of crystallization. If the solid material have been made from an aqueous solution, the product will frequently contain water. कोई भी क्रिस्टल सॉल्ट्स के अगर हमने क्रिस्टलाइजेशन की प्रोसेस से बनाए हैं तो उसमें वाटर तो होगा ही होगा. दिस इज कॉल्ड वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन. इज फिक्स्ड नंबर ऑफ वाटर मॉलिक्यूल प्रेजेंट इन द फॉर्मूला यूनिट ऑफ अ सॉल्ट. ये इसकी डेफिनेशन है. वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन जैसे हमने यहाँ देख रहे हैं ब्लू कलर का कॉपर सल्फेट का क्रिस्टल है. तो इन दैट क्रिस्टल how it is made by the process of crystallization. And we are adding copper sulfate. It is white. You can see copper sulfate anhydrous is a white solid. But when we add water to it and we completely stir it and we warm it, concentrated solution बना के उसको stir करते रहते हैं, warm करते रहते हैं, इस पे थोड़ा पानी भी डाल रहे हैं तो भी ये glue हो रहा है. तो जब हम इसका वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन बनाते हैं तो हम इसको ब्लू कलर के ऐसे क्रिस्टल में पाएंगे जैसा ऊपर लिखा हुआ है. और इसका फॉर्मूला क्या दिख रहा है आपको? कॉपर सल्फेट डॉट 5H2. तो ये इसके वाटर ऑफ क्रिस्टलाइजेशन है. 5 molecules of water are there. Hydrated compound is that containing water. And anhydrous compound is that a substance which contain no water. Water of crystallization, hydrated form of compound is written in the special way. Empirical formula of the compound is separated from the water of crystallization by a dot. डॉट लगा के लिख देते हैं वाटर के मॉलिक्यूल्स. ये होता है उसको लिखने का तरीका. हाइड्रेटेड कॉपर सल्फेट has 5 water molecules for each formula unit. When we heat, crystals of water is removed and then it's again become anhydrous. So this was the last thing which is there. And in the NCERT there is one more thing which is POP and gypsum. So you have to also study that. Gypsum is the calcium sulfate पेंटाहाइड्रेट डेकाहाइड्रेट. सो जिप्सम आपको पढ़ना है. जिप्सम और Also, you have to study about the POP, that is plaster of Paris, that you have to study. So I am going to show you the reaction of the formation of the plaster of Paris. Is also having the water of crystallization, and POP, it is full form, and POP is used in the we can say in the formation of um, various art and on the decorative interior designings. It is very common nowadays, and you have seen also. What is plaster of Paris is a popular chemical substance that is used commonly for sculpting the material. Properties of plaster of Paris is that usually white in color, available in powder form. And the plaster of Paris is also referred to as gypsum plaster. Chemical formula of plaster of Paris is CaSO4 dot half H2O. So it is calcium sulfate hemihydrate, and calcium sulfate anhydrous बनाने के लिए plaster of Paris forms an anhydrous calcium sulfate at 473, sometimes known as dead burnt plaster of Paris. Other characteristic of gypsum plaster, types of plaster of Paris are there, and here the chapter finished. So this is the reaction. Also, you can see calcium sulfate dot 2H2O, that is gypsum, when it is heated. Then this is the reaction. This you have to learn, that calcium sulfate dot 2H2O. This is the reaction of gypsum. This is the formula of gypsum. When it is heated, it change into plaster of Paris and half H2O. So plaster of Paris we get like this. So with this, we have discussed all the important and all covered all the topics of